Now, today I'm going to talk about the book review. Now, the books are divided into ancient masters and modern masters. The ancient masters are Parashara Maharishi, Varaha Mihira, Paladipika. Like that, there are ancient masters' books which are available. And then there are modern masters' books like K.N. Rao, V.V. Raman, Sanjay Rath, Narasimha, all those kind of people's modern books are also available. Normally, there is no book review in astrology. Now, many people don't take a point to review. So, we are reviewing the book so that it helps a lot of people to read. Now, today we will be reviewing the book on brihat Parashara hora shastra. Now, the brihat Parashara hora shastra is the ancient text of astrology, and it is written by the great Parashara Maharishi. Now, there is a controversy saying that whether the full volume of the book is available or it's only a portion which is available. Now, the book what I am reviewing is published by Sagar Publication. Sagar Publication is one of the leading publication, and the translation is done by Girish Chandra Charma. Now, there are two volumes to the book, volume 1 and volume 2. And basically, the slokas are given in Sanskrit. The translation is given. In some cases, the commentary is being given across. And in some cases, the horoscope is also given across. But it is a very, very exhaustive book. It's so much exhaustive that's why it's called Samhita. Samhita means it is the end to end of astrology itself. So that is why it is called as the Samhita part of it. Now, why do you have to read the ancient masters? First of all, you will get the blessings of the ancient master. Second thing, the vortex tend to open up. Third thing is, it will help you to understand the basic principles very, very clearly. Now, there are many books which are written across, but many people find it very difficult to follow it. They get confused, they get lost, and they attend workshops about it and all that thing. In the ancient times, the Parashara hora shastra was mucked up along with the Jataka Satyacharya, and then people try to correlate, but life has changed. For example, an agriculture-based society is moved into the industrial-based society. The industrial-based society has come into the intellectual part of the society. So there will be some gaps in the book according to the modern interpretation. For example, Parashara Maharishi wouldn't have written on computers, wouldn't have written on cell phones. Now, how do we integrate it? The modern gadgets can be taken into third house because we use the mouth and we use the throat. So it's the kind of the third house kind of thing across. Laptop can be taken as the fifth house. So like that, the modern interpretation is being given across. But the basic tenets of astrology is well explained in this particular book. Now, let me give you an example. Now, many people believe that there is only one dasha, that is the Vimshotira Dasha. Now, most people, if they go to the class, they will talk about the Vimshotira Dasha, which is being available across. But in this book, the Parashara Maharishi talks to close to 48 dashas. For example, the Yogini Chakra Dasa, the Kala Chakra Dasa, the Dviti Samapati Dasa, all dashas are given across. Now, this is not used by many of the astrologers across. So, the in-depthness of the book is rarely seen across. That's why many people do not take to modern, they take to modern authors because they kind of give a technique which is applicable across. So, for example, Dviti Samapati Dasa, the first lord in 7th house, 7th lord in 1st house, the Dviti Samapati Dasa is being used across. So, you have to come to the level of understanding that the Dasha is given extensively across. The other one in this famous book is the Ashtavarga part, which is given across. And the Dasha Bhukti is given very elaborately for Vimshotira Dasa, for Kalachakra Dasa. It is extensively given across. Now, the Dasha, the Bhukti, the Dasha, the Antara Dasha, in certain cases the Pratantara Dasha is given across in some interpretation. But basically, Parashara Maharishi uses the principle of benefic and malefic. That is the general benefic and general malefic. Saturn Dasha, Rahu Bhukti is negative. Rahu Dasha, Saturn Bhukti is negative across. He does not use the Lagna principles. He does not do the Karakas like that of the Nadi astrology. Like that, the book has a lot of variation in this particular thing across. So you have to understand that Dasha Bhukti, what we are following, the calculation part of it, whether it is in the computers or it is in the any other thing across, basically this is an elaboration from the Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra. So it's a very, very comprehensive book. It's a detailed book, and it has all the varieties which are available as far as the Dasha is concerned. The other Dasha in particular I have used across is the Kalachakra Dasha. The Kalachakra Dasha is the Rasi Dasha. There is only one software which makes all dashas available, that is the Vedic Astrologer.org by Narasimha. That particular software is available across. And now, therefore, the Dasha itself is elaborated, given across. The other one is that 12 houses are given across. The 12 houses, it is not the general benefic malefic which is being given. It is the functional benefic malefic which is being given. For example, Rishabha Lagna, Saturn is considered as a benefic because it is the 9th and the 10th lord. The Parashara Maharishi emphasized the lordship, not the planetary aspect or not the position of the planet, but Parashara Maharishi does emphasize the planetary lordship, because according to me, the lordship is a very, very important principle in terms of predicting. In fact, we teach astrology to people by connecting with the lordship across. So that is also a very important usage as far as the astrology is concerned. Now, many people talk about the general benefic malefic. Parashara Maharishi is very, very clear with the entire thing that it is a functional benefic malefic which is being given across. There are other techniques which are given like Ishtapala, Kashtapala, Bhavabala, Ashtavarga. For example, he says in the modern era, Ashtavarga can be used as an important technique across. Now earlier, Ashtavarga calculation was very, very difficult across. But whereas these days, Ashtavarga calculations in computers has come to so far that you can actually predict the Ashtavarga chart. The charts are given, it is given for divisional chart across. So in that sense, it is a very big thing across. So in this case, the divisional chart Ashtavarga is not given. It's a technique which has got evolved. But Parashara Maharishi talks about the divisional chart. Very clearly, Parashara Maharishi talks about the divisional chart. So in itself, we can call it as the Bible of astrology. The divisional charts are given, the basic Ucha, Nicha, Mula, Trikona, everything is given. And then the Dasha Bhuktis are given, then the Ashtavargas, Bhavabala, Shadbala, all that thing is given. So I would advise you, if your yogas are given in this book, I would advise you that if you are an adherent fan of astrology, if you are an adherent believer in astrology, buy this book. It is worth a lot, and it is so comprehensive that you can go on reading this book again and again and get tremendously new insights about astrology a lot. Of course, I find the Bhrigu Nandinadi book, which I would be reviewing across at a later point of time. So it is such a powerful book that it makes a huge difference into people's life across. So I would still believe that this book is a real classic, because a classic is a thing, if you go on reading, you would get more of insight, more of ideas, more levels and layered. The book is a multi-layered, and from this many modern authors have borrowed the principles. In fact, if you see the B.V. Raman book on yogas, and people have written books on Ashtavarga, all that thing is borrowed basically from this book. And this book is a classic in itself, and I am not going to elaborate the techniques part of it, because this will be one video, won't be enough. But it's a comprehensive, it's a full package. It's the available. So I request you to buy this book. I always tell people that if you read the classics, if you read the modern master, more than the modern masters, the ancient masters, books open the vortex of astrology. Astrology is a knowledge, and if it is being compressed with time, and it can be exposed a lot by using this particular technique across. So this in itself is a book across. For example, I would open randomly the book. It talks about if Mars is poised in 12th or 8th Lord from the Lord of the Mahadasha, conjunct by happening, loss of authorities, weaker thought, mental ailment, imprisonment, destruction of brothers like relative, the kind results and occur in Antaradasha. He says very simple, if Mars is poised in the 8th and the 12th house from the Lord of the Mahadasha, that is, it can lead to the destruction of the thing. And he says, if Rahu is placed in angles are trained in the ascent, the beginning of 2 months of Antardasha, heavy loss of wealth in a state of psychosis. He says very clearly, if the Rahu is placed on the trians of the Antardasha or from the Dasha Bhukti, 2 months there will be difficulty across as it begins across. So such specific details are given. The remedies, I think, must have been given very elaborately, but the remedy is given for Amavash, the remedy is given for certain birth nakshatra across, and such a thing is not there across a person. So generally, it is a functional benefic malefic is given. The Antaradasha is elaborated very easily across. So that is missing in a lot of people who read astrology. They don't go through the classics. They don't read through the classic across. They try to, most people don't have a reading habit itself. They have a problem with the reading habit. They tend to avoid it. So I would recommend strongly this book. And of course, it has a very deep value and knowledge. So let me recapitulate. It is the Parashara Hora Shastra. The book is reviewed and it is published by Sagar Publication, which is very good. Of course, I have read the other Sanskritized version, but it's still a classic book which has a tremendous usage into the day-to-day predictions of astrology. Thank you.